I would like to welcome everybody to the December POA Board Work Session. And first item on the agenda is our pure pleasure to have employees recognition, and we are proud of each and every one of you, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. Please, go.
So we're going to do the service awards. These are length of service awards, and we're going to call you up. We have a plaque and a gift card for you. And also, we have a reception in the Vista room. So we're going to encourage everybody after they're done to go into the Vista room. And we're going to, after a couple minutes, we'll take a nice group photo. And I've asked Lynn to see if she could get that in the newspaper, maybe. But I cannot emphasize how important it is. This place could not be what it is without our employees. And for employees to be here, we're recognizing people from 5 years of service all the way up to 35 years of service, which is extremely impressive. So I thank you, all of you, from the bottom of my heart, and I think the board concurs with that very much so. So we're going to start right now, and the first one up, we're going to have Marie from Member Services come on up. Marie has been with us for 5 years. Yeah, come on. There you go. And then come this way, and then Ruth's going to shake your hand also. Nanette from Branchwood Recreation, and she's been with us for 5 years, and Nanette is not here today, but accepting on her behalf is Jessica. Thank you. You got a couple of them? Clark Wood, 5 years, and he's with the legal department. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clark. We appreciate it.
Very well.
Appreciate it.
Billy from the Kingswood Pro Shop has been with us for 5 years, and I don't see Billy here. Stephen from Birksdale Golf Course Maintenance, 5 years. I got it. I'm good. David from Water Utility has been with us for 5 years. Thank you. Justin from the Water Utility has been with us for 5 years. That's what you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, Keith Eames, golf, 5 years. Thank you. Jill from the Water Utility has been with us for 5 years. I should mention that various employees, they hit their mark at various times during the year. They're not all hitting it all in December. Right? What? Yes. Marcia from Highlands Pro Shop, 5 years. Thank you. There you go. Lucy from Branchwood Recreation Center has been with us for 5 years, and I do not see Lucy here.
Thank you also.
Lori Pike, Branchwood Recreation, 5 years. Carol, Member Services, has been with us for 5 years. Thank you, Carol. Here you go.
Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it.
Kelby, Water Utility, has been with us for 5 years. This guy's got a bear handshake. Just be careful. Michael Smith, Water Utility, has been with us for 5 years. All right, that is the end of the 5-year recognitions, and now we're moving on to the 10-year recognitions. Fred from Tanyard Creek Practice Center, 10 years. And accepting on Fred's behalf, Miss Tanyard Creek herself, Hillary.
I was like, I'll see you this afternoon.
Thank you.
She's got me working instead. We've got to talk to you. We've got to talk to you. Thank you.
And I can nail this one now. John Urquhart. Fisheries has been with us for 10 years. Thank you. It only took me 3 years to learn your last name. Sharon from Branchwood Fitness Center has been with us for 10 years, and she's not here. Gary from Scottsdale Maintenance. I saw Gary. Yeah, there he's Gary. Gary's been with us for 10 years. Here you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gary. We appreciate it.
Bob from Kingswood Golf Maintenance Team. There's Bob. Bob has been with us for 10 years. Ooh, yeah. Thank you, Bob. Yep. Thank you. There you go. Sarah from Branchwood Recreation Center has been with us for 10 years, and Sarah is not here.
I think there's a pattern here.
Shelley from the Water Department is not here, and she's been with us for 10 years. Dale, come on down. Dale, Office Services.
10 years. 10 years.
How are you doing, buddy? Here you go.
I'll be around here 20th.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now we're moving on to our 15-year awards. Cindy from Branchwood Recreation Center is not here. I'd like to point out how many people that we've recognized at Branchwood for such a long time. That's really amazing.
And they've got them working instead.
Shane from Kingswood Golf Maintenance Center facility, and 15 years. He's out of the country, all right.
I hope
So,
he gets back.
accepting on his behalf is Keith. Thanks, buddy.
You be sure and thank them.
I will do that.
Ray Pettit, come on down.
Everybody's best friend. Everybody's best friend for a reason.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Thanks, buddy.
Everybody's best friend for a reason. We appreciate it.
Ron Downs, Scottsdale Pro Shop,
He is like that.
has been with us for 15 years. He's not here. Moving on to our 20-year awards. Wow. Scott Garrison.
We didn't have a 15 years? We didn't have a 15 years? Oh,
Thanks, buddy.
thanks, Scott. We appreciate it.
Next, the new and improved Jack Brooks. Where's Jack? Where's Jack? Where's Jack? You can't recognize him anymore. Great job, buddy. Jeff Kellogg, water utility, and it's not here for 20 years.
I'll fix some water.
Mary from Branchwood Recreation Center, 20 years. Wow, the entire team has been there forever.
Did anybody tell them they were doing this today?
Carol from the gun range. Carol started at the range when he was 13. Reed Holly. Thanks, buddy. We're jumping all the way to 30 years now. Mark Archer.
Thank you very much.
Next one is Pat Harper, and I don't see her today. Okay, she's worked in the accounting department for 30 years. And the last one, I know that their parole hearing is coming up soon. 35 years, Mike Taggart. Congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate it very much. Thank you so much.
We thank everybody for their many, many years of service. We very much appreciate it. We have a very nice reception for everybody. If you can go on down there, and then we're going to take a group picture so we can recognize everybody. Thank you so much. Awesome job. And Ruth wants to talk.
On behalf of the entire board, we cannot thank each of you enough for everything you do for Bella Vista. But more importantly, it's the little things or the things that people don't see that you do that make it what it is. And we're very proud of each and every one of you. And at this time, I invite the board not to go it right now, but to join them when we have finished with the board meeting.
Thank you all. We'll see you down at the reception in a little while.
Years, yeah. I got a bell when I retired. I did. That's no kidding. Oh, did he? Yeah. Somebody forgot to tell the rec department. Or they've got them all working, one of the two.
Working probably. All of them are from Branchwood.
Yeah.
Geez, I didn't really, when I was signing them, I didn't
Yeah.
really put it all together.
And there must have been. Yes. Yeah, okay, we're ready to go ahead with the repairs at Scottsdale's Bridge to Key State. Yeah.
Okay, next up is the Scottsdale Bridge repairs. As we know, those bridges were damaged by the flooding that we had earlier in the year.
What's that?
What we're requesting of the board is to approve a capital expenditure of $38,000, and that money will be used for survey work, engineering, permitting. And permitting is the key thing because that can take a lengthy amount of time, and letting. And so that will get us going on this project. Also, the board has directed management to find $38,000 in savings in the 2020 operating budget and to report to the board in January as to what those reductions will be. So we would like to move this forward to next week's meeting for a vote so we can move forward with this project. We need to get it you know, the sooner we get it done, the quicker we can open up the golf course for 18 holes of play. Any questions?
Discussion, questions?
Mike?
The permitting, the estimate's what, 4 to 6 months?
No, we
3 months?
we estimate that from start to finish, that we, as long as we continue on with the path and nothing unforeseen happens, and then the board approves everything in a timely manner, that we could reopen the golf course potentially in the 1st of June. Our goal is to get it reopened before the APT event, because with the APT event, we lose we lose some play, and so we have to make sure that we have a sufficient number of golf courses for our membership.
And so the permitting obviously is somewhere before then.
Yeah, yes, it's and that's why we're asking the board to approve this now, so we can get going on the permitting as quickly as possible.
And once again, the permitting agencies will be whom? DEQ, the city, who else?
Probably wildlife and fishery.
Okay,
We do not believe it'll be anything to do with the federal permits at this time.
all right.
Because of the location being at Scottsdale, rather than,
Because of the watershed there not being a navigable waterway.
okay. My understanding is that the damages that were being repaired are being repaired a little differently than we had anticipated originally. So it would be not quite as extensive.
Yeah, there's several options. We're doing the more efficient, a little less expensive, but it will give us the stability we need so that we can get open. And I would point out on the opening, that estimate to get open June, that's like both of them. So whenever we go out to bid and get a contractor, we will make it clear that we would like number 2 started and finished first, because that's the only one that requires us to use to get across. The other bridge is usable. So that will be our goal.
Keith, can you define the $18,000 hydrology part of it? What, you'll have Crafton and Toll or somebody else do just an update of the floodplain data, is that right?
Yes, they do. They do an update as required by the various permitting agencies, and part of that cost in there is contacting and turning in the actual permits for approval. Is all within that. You have to have that hydrology information in order to prepare the permits, is my understanding.
And this is a different watershed. We had the water study done previously, which was on Little Sugar. This is the Gordon Hollow watershed, and we did not do any flood studies. When the POA did the flood studies last year, it was a different area.
And it has been determined that number 2 bridge is not safe enough for golf carts, so we cannot open it until it's fixed.
We had 2 engineering firms that have looked at it and told us that we'd be best off not to drive across that with any kind of vehicles. That's why it's closed off.
Okay, because that was a consideration, but it has been, that it is not safe to do so, so that decision has been made.
Kyle, who was in here a while ago, my
Right
superintendent from there.
He's behind you.
Yeah, he's behind. We're excited about you guys giving us permission to go. He's anxious to get a golf course open, and so am I.
Good.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
The last time we spoke about this, we were going to get an additional bid from another engineering firm to see if we could move up the timeline by about 30 days. Unfortunately, that proved to be unsuccessful effort.
Okay, so we're still looking at June 1st?
Yes.
At best, okay. Any others? Thank you, Keith, we appreciate it.
Next on your agenda, on May 22nd, we had a...
We will move that ahead to vote.
Yes,
On
yes.
the board meeting next week.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Sorry. On May 22nd, there was a storm that came through the community. We had all the buildings of the community inspected as a result of the hail damage that we found at Metfield. Multiple buildings in the Metfield area sustained damage. The large building sustained the most amount of damage, of course, but the cart barn out there, and then at the park, the pool house, the picnic pavilion, multiple buildings were impacted. Only one of them is over the $10,000 threshold. So we are requesting that the board approve a 2019 capital project for this work. The work has already been completed. We had to get it completed as soon as possible so that there would not be any further damage to the buildings as a result of the damage to the roof. So we're going to ask that the board move this forward at the next week's meeting for approval. To clarify, this would be a 19 project, where the Scottsdale Bridge would be a 2020 project.
Questions? I guess one thing that I probably feel that should be made clear is the 1% of the entire building being 21,000. Usually people understand insurance is a certain deductible, but this is a percent of the total price of the building, or the value of the building.
This is a different way of doing
Okay.
it, but that's how our insurance policy is written.
Because I'm guessing most people think it's a state deductible, so.
And the money's already been spent, the project's already done,
That is
right?
correct. That's correct.
This year's.
Well, it came from our general account.
That's this year's.
Well, no, see, all of the expenses that were below $10,000, the buildings that were on the bottom portion, the cart barn and so forth, we had to absorb that into our operating expenses. But for the main building, since it's over $10,000 and the roof improves the life of the roof, or the new roof improves life, then it is a capital project that can't be expensed. And so we need the board's approval to have a capital expense.
Okay, we will move that ahead till next week's budget.
And
Next
that
week's
was,
meeting.
that was the extent of what I had to cover.
Did Lakes walk in any proposal?
No, I do know that the Lakes Committee was talking about, they had made some recommendations, which I was just handed.
They won't change that.
My recommendation to the board is, we've been dealing with this issue and these recommendations for 2 years. I think it would look a little bit out of sorts if the Lakes Committee were to vote on recommendations yesterday and for the board to adopt those next week. I recommend that we move this to the January meeting to give the community time to go through this,
Okay,
go through the recommendations and not race through it. I think it would look a little bit odd for it to be raced through within a 1-week period on something that we've been working on for 2 years.
and it also needs to give the membership a chance to voice opinion
Yep.
after they see the final version of it.
Yeah, the membership who are concerned with this are very well aware of it, and the committee addressed what you just said yesterday. The biggest provision in their recommendations is a video to educate boaters, and realizing that the boating season doesn't really get cranked up
So much.
in January, we have time to do this. The proposal that they have put forward is pretty much an education, tweaking some limits here and there, and nobody's happy with it, so it's got to be a compromise. The people on the shore don't like it. The boaters aren't happy that they have more restrictions, but I think probably the biggest benefit of what they're proposing is that the boats that have been an issue are being notified that we're watching, and depending on their actions, we may or may not do something different. If they can be nice, all is good, but if they misbehave, we have to take further action. So it's a compromise, and I think that anybody who's aware of the issue is pretty well informed on what the committee is presenting.
Safety has to be the first primary
Oh,
and
yeah.
for everybody on both sides, and I think that's what they really stressed, is how can we do things to make it safe for everybody and still be enjoyable on the lake, so we'll see that later at this time. Okay, any other things you would like to discuss?
I might just add to that, and I'm wondering if we would be better off to put the issue on the next week's agenda, simply to
Have
make
them
sure.
present it?
Yes, have them present it to us as a beginning
Okay,
to it. And then probably at that time, we would table it
okay,
until the January meeting.
okay, that would give
This,
everybody,
this way it gets in the pipeline so everybody is informed with it.
makes a good idea, that, so we get it started, so that people are aware of it and
Yep.
know what's going on, and know exactly what we're talking about, so that they will be notified.
We will do that.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, at this time, open forum. Any comments from the audience? Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Kevin Dooley, Lester Drive. I think we need to put a stop to the revote. I don't think it's ethical to ignore the results of a fair election. Doing so alienates and dehumanizes half of our Bella Vista voters. And it's causing division in our community. So I'm asking you to put a stop to it. It only takes 5 of you. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Kelly Strain. I live at number 4 Marianne Lane. And I agree with him and many other residents in this community. I mean, why is there such a rush to move forward with a vote that got voted down? I don't understand why you don't gather the community's input on such a critical matter. I'm all about the increase. I really, truly am. I think it will only better our community. But you have to gather information so you can make a sound decision. Why is it you feel like you need to move forward so rapidly with this agenda? Is there some hidden motive? Make it clear and obvious. Why can't you table it like it was suggested, but it got voted down? You serve this community. You serve the members of this community. Why don't you stand up, do the right thing, and table the vote, and let's gather some information. Let's see what's best for everyone, not just specific individuals in this community.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, at this time, we'll move on. Before announcements, is there anything else anyone would like to bring up for the good of the cause?
And anyone can answer any of that at any time.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Revised 2020 plan meeting tonight at Reardon Hall at 5 o'clock. 2020 plan on Tuesday next week at 2 o'clock at Metfield. The regular board meeting is December 19th at 6 p.m. here in the boardroom. In January, we go back to our second, third, and fourth Thursdays. So the second Thursday would be January 9th would be our GM meeting. The 16th at 9 o'clock is a work session. A special meeting with the vote is January 19th at 6 o'clock at Reardon, and the regular board meeting is January 23rd here in the Country Club at 6 o'clock.
It's, the special vote is on the 16th, not the 19th.
Sorry about that, it's the 16th. Everybody go the 16th, don't wait till the 19th. My apologies. Anything else? If not, we stand adjourned.